Okay, so let's take a look at an application of probability distributions, and we're going to use Excel to kind of help us along here. So what we have here is a consumer who stocks of 4 alarm clock radios at a time. So never more than 4, from what it seems like in the problem here. So at the end of the week, if they have only sold one, they only get one more. So we're going to assume that we're going to be comparing cost and revenue each week. We're not going to account for the first 4 that they ever sold. So we're just going to look at weekly cost and revenue and profit and whatnot. So each radio sells for $25 and each one costs the store $15. And we have a probability distribution for the weekly demand. Now notice 4 is the most likely outcome, so that could have driven their decision to only stock 4 at a time. And as the problem evolves, we'll get to see some other reasons why perhaps. So getting right to it, first thing we want to know is what is the expected daily or expected weekly demand for the alarm clock radio? Well, that, remember, is sum of x times p of x. So here we have our x's and our p of x's here. Now, a really nifty function that we can use, and I'm going to put the answer right here, is one called sum product. And what it does is if you feed it 2 columns, it will multiply the 2 columns together cell by cell and then give you the sum. And that is exactly what the mean is. So I'm going to highlight 0 through 7 there, comma, and then the probabilities there. And notice that the cell references should match 4 to 11, 4 to 11. I close the parenthesis, and there you can see they're highlighted. And as you can see, the expected time, or the expected number of clock radios demanded in a week, is 3.6, which again could have driven their decision to use 4 as the benchmark. So looking at part B, what is the probability that weekly demand will be greater than the number of available radios? And I notice I spelled available incorrectly there. So looking at that, well, they only are ever going to have 4, so we're basically looking at those 2 or those 3 probabilities right there. As you can see, that's 0.20. As an Excel function, actually, you can use the sum feature. And I'm taking the sum of those 3, and that's my 0.20. So that one was not too terrible to find out. So looking at part C now, what is the expected weekly profit from the sale of the alarm clock radio, remembering that we only do sell 4 in a week? Well, so looking at that, we sell them for 25, we buy them for 15, so that means we profit $10 per radio. So I'm going to make another column over here because it lines up with the probability as well. So this means that if we have 0 demanded, we make 0 money, and that happens 5% of the time. I'm just going to center this column here. There we go. So if we sell 1 radio, we sold it for 25. That means we're going to buy another one for 15 at the end of the week. So that profit is 10. I'm actually going to label this profit. There we go. And going on down the line, so that means we make $10 per radio. So that's going to be 20. That's going to be 30. That's going to be 40. But then we have to watch out because we're never going to sell more than 4. So it means the maximum profit that we're going to ever get is 40. And then I'm going to use my nifty sum product formula again. And I'm going to use this column and this column to give me the expected profit. And that is $32.50. So now in part D, on average, how much profit is lost each week because the radio is not available? So let's look at another profit column here. I'll call it profit 2, for lack of a better word here. So this means that we're basically going to replace whatever we sell. So let's just say we could sell up to 7 in a week. We never sell more than 7. Well, that means that it's just going to increment by 10 instead of having a limit of 40. So there's my profit, and I'm going to use sum product again to find the expected value. So over here, the expected would be sum product. And again, we're looking at the probabilities, and we're looking at the profits, and that's 36. So how much do we lose? Well, that's going to be 36 minus 32.5. So we lose on average $3.50 per week. So that's going to be something the manager has to figure out if they want to, is that worth it to them or not? Maybe that could be something they examine during high times, like maybe Black Friday or whatnot. But that is how we use Excel in probability distributions to help us make business decisions. Thank you so much for watching.